Officially stepped into her position as the Chief Executive Officer of African Bank after serving as designate CEO for a year under retiring boss Brian Riley. The African Bank is a sentimental brand in terms of its origins, which stemmed from an effort to improve the lives of the poor and their access to financing. But its challenges and near demise just a few years ago threatened the bank's continued existence. The first black CEO of a South African bank is sitting right opposite me. And wow, I've seen photographs of you and it made my head turn. But seeing you sitting in front of me, you're absolutely beautiful. So you're a big package here. It's so lovely to meet you and congratulations.
Thanks so much, Dan. I sincerely appreciate it.
I mean, how are you feeling? Because this is now, you've been in this for what, you've been in it for what, a week?
Yeah, it's
and
more
how's
like,
it going?
It's more like 4 days. I mean, it's been a whirlwind the last few weeks, actually, just kind of leading up to this and preparing for it. But I think what's been absolutely mind-blowing has been the excitement of ordinary South Africans, right?
Yeah.
People are seriously excited. And I think it's just brought on this new sense of hope and excitement and optimism about the country and where we are and transformation and the sense of, we all can and we should all be working much more closely together to create better transformation and to grow the economy. So I'm really grateful to be in this position.
The wonderful thing about you getting into this position is that you didn't just appear from nowhere. I mean, you've been working in the sector, you've been working in African Bank, you've been working hard at this. And I mean, tell us a little bit about yourself. And I think, and this perhaps inspires people to understand that things like this don't happen overnight. You've worked very hard to get here.
I think that's true. I've been thinking a lot about that, as you can imagine, over the last few weeks, because I keep getting asked this question, kind of how does this thing happen? And I think often we completely ignore the fact that we get to where we are in life because of everybody else who supported us. And I think I had the good fortune of being born into a family, firstly, that had the financial means to help me to be educated, to follow whatever fields I wanted to follow. And so as a result, I do have multiple degrees because that was possible. But more than that, I had the exposure from a very young age to people like Mojanko Gumbi, to Khomosa Moroka, to Dikgang Moseneke. My father was a judge. So just great leaders in society who had a vision not only for themselves, but for what the country must look like, had a lot of empathy for what we need to be doing around, how we should talk to people who are less fortunate, how we should help them, and why it's important to have a country that is properly integrated, where people actually understand what Ubuntu really means, as we become a democracy that matures and is strong and can survive all these various winds that are going to hit us.
Yeah, it sounds like an incredible and inspiring upbringing, to say the least. But let's move into the financial services sector now, because obviously, I mean, growing up you grew up in a very different environment in terms of the law and the judiciary and all of those kind of things. And then you move into financial services. And this is a very different and difficult space, actually, and particularly where we look at African Bank. At one stage, as I mentioned in the introduction, things weren't looking too good. It's managed to turn around, however. Talk to us about where your general sense is of the financial services sector.
I think financial services is either very exciting or terrifying, right? So I think the competitive landscape has changed fundamentally over the last year. Over and above the new banks that are coming into the space in the next few months, you also have the incumbents who have changed their business models quite fundamentally. I mean, every day I hear something different that each of these banks are doing to respond to the threats of digital banking, to respond to the threat of the new banks that are coming in. So I think the key thing right now is that the competition has really ramped up. Over and above the competition, you also have the regulatory environment. So the Twin Peaks model has just come in. We heard the last lady you interviewed talking about the Prudential Authority, which is now under the banking regulator. So I think the regulatory environment is difficult, but at the same time, we know for a fact that it is because of how well regulated that we are able to survive things like the great financial crisis that happened in the late 2000s. So I think it's the regulations, it's the competitive landscape, it's also the unknown factors that are coming at us, right? So what does fintech represent? This wonderful world of being able to have people who really are unbanked having access to products at a price point that they can afford. I think that's really exciting. So our response to that as African Bank is that we are launching our own digital bank. later this year. Yesterday, or not 2 days ago, on the 4th, we launched our transactional banking account to our staff. And it was amazing. The guys love it. The level of excitement in the back right now is just, you could almost touch it. And I think for us, it's a massive milestone. It was also our second birthday. So since curatorship, we're now 2 years old when we launched this. And what's really great about it is that it, for the first time, gives people the opportunity to bank with African Bank on a transactional basis, whereas before they couldn't do that because, we were formerly just a one product shop. So a massive milestone for us.
Yeah, when the bank started, it was clear who their services were geared at. But things have changed slightly, I imagine. And you have your own vision. Who in your mind is an African bank client?
I want to say everyone. So I think realistically, though, we've predominantly been playing in the mass market. So kind of people, the lower earning market of South Africa, people who typically would want personal loans. So we love that market. That market clearly loves us. You may have seen a couple of months ago, we were rated as having tied for second place with FNB in the customer satisfaction survey. So our customers love us. They really believe that we give them value for money, that we're there when they need us, and that they get really good customer service. And what we want to do is to take that experience and make sure that other people in the country are aware of it and are able to take advantage of it. And one way of being able to achieve that is by having a product set that appeals to that market, hence the launching of transactional banking. But also we now have really great products. For example, we have the best deposit products in the country. We offer the best rates in the country. In addition to that, we also really offer great insurance products through our joint venture with MMI. So I think we are starting to have a nice product suite that appeals to a much broader cross-section of South Africans.
Well, listen, we wish you the best of luck. We really do. We're behind you. And I think the excitement is tangible around your appointment, and it is real. And it's wonderful to be sitting here looking at you as a trailblazer, because this is just opening paths for many women to follow in your shoes.
Agreed.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you very, very much for talking to us. In her capacity as the new Chief Executive Officer for African Bank, outlining her vision for the bank. Absolutely wonderful to be celebrating women in these positions. Basani Maluleke, thank you very, very much for talking to us.